So these are the rates from 2018. And BRFSS is a self-reported data set they do, and I think it's through the CDC. They call individuals every 2 to 4 years, and it's self-report. So this was rates of diabetes in 2018 in Alabama, and the purple is 15.7% or higher, and then the lighter colors are less than 10.4%. So you can see Birmingham, it looks like, and Shelby County are roughly 13 to 15%. The US rate's about 10%. So diabetes, I'm going to talk about a lot because diabetes is a big risk for heart disease too, not just because it's my people. And then high cholesterol, you can see there's also a map. The redder or the higher rates of high cholesterol. And this is 40.5% or higher is the darkest red. So, and you can see this is self-report. So, so this is the individuals that have these conditions that know they have it. Currently, they say about 8 million people in the US are walking around with diabetes and don't even know they have it. I'm not sure what the stats are on cholesterol, but probably similar. This is a map from 2016, also from the CDC, based on the self-report data. And just to go over this one's kind of busy, but I liked it because it shows how diabetes, just diabetes is yellow and just obesity is purple, but the combination of both is like an aqua teal color. So you can see, again, Alabama, we're a lot of teal. A lot of darkish blue and a lot of teal too. So the latest data is showing about 74% of the US is overweight. We're probably right in there with the rest of the US too. So it's not, you know, a personal thing anymore. I think it's there's lots of other things researchers are finding. So today we're going to talk about, this is a graphic from the American Heart Association, what they call Life's Simple 7. So a lot of the things, some of you smiley face people, I hope reported, are to avoid tobacco, okay, the red thing on the bottom. Eat better, and we're going to talk about what that includes. Get active. We all need to be more active for the most part. Lose weight. Again, 3/4 of the US is overweight, so most of us do need to lose weight. Reduce blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol. So these are what we call, for diabetes people, the ABCs of diabetes. So A for A1C, B for blood pressure, and C for cholesterol, includes lipids. So, and again, improving those numbers is done by all the steps 1 through 4, okay? So we're gonna start talking about these now. So this is an update from the American Heart Association Circulation Journal. It just came out a few weeks ago. Some of you may have already seen it. For 2021 update for heart disease and stroke. So obesity. Obesity is a BMI greater than or equal to 30. And then overweight is a body mass index or BMI 25 to 29.9. If you want to calculate your BMI, you can. I don't like to do it as much with people because it's demotivating sometimes too. Excuse me. But the 2021 update showed that obesity, a BMI of 30 or above, increased the risk for diabetes mellitus type 2 or type 2 diabetes by 3 times as much. And obesity was responsible for about half of the new diabetes cases from 2001 to 2016. So as a lot of us in the diabetes world know, being overweight does increase your risk for diabetes. Okay. It also saw females, more so than males, had higher rates of diabetes as a result of obesity. And again, as we all know, here and more so with the BIPOC individuals, Black and Mexican American women had the highest rates of obesity from 2001 to 2016. So we probably all have our own ideas about why that is, but there is data to support that. I feel like those are a lot of times kind of some judgmental things sometimes people feel, but a lot of it is data supported about things. So this is another busy slide, again, from the same 2021 AHA report. So I'm trying to be positive. We always like to be positive in the nutrition world. Tell you what you can do, not what you can't do. So blue. So we all want everybody to be in the blue. So most of us are in the blue for smoking. So you can see it goes down by category, and we'll go over that. But NHW is non-Hispanic white, and then non-Hispanic Black, non-Hispanic Asian, or Mexican American. So you can see for smoking, we're doing pretty good as a nation. Again, the white individuals or Caucasian are doing, not doing as well as the Black individuals. So that's a good thing. Body mass index, like I just said, about 70% of us, 70+% of us are in the overweight category. So little less than 30% are at a healthy weight for white individuals. For non-Hispanic Black, it's a little bit lower. Asians lower, and then Mexican Americans at only about 15%. Physical activity, we're doing a little better. About 1/3 to 40% are active, and you can see the white individuals tend to be more so. So healthy diet score, that's kind of a new thing in the nutrition world. There's a rating, and you can Google that and look it up too. But you can see there's hardly any blue on here. So we're all going to work on making some improvements there. But you can see that non-Hispanic Asians tend to do the best. Total cholesterol, about 50% roughly, okay, have good total cholesterol. So that's good. Blood pressure, a little bit less. And then diabetes. So again, so diabetes kind of goes along with the overweight too, okay? So you can kind of see, it mirrors those. So just to show you, I don't want to point fingers. I'm not a finger pointer, because whenever I tell people to do something, I'm always talking to myself at the same time as well. So this is one of the researchers from that AHA report in circulation, Dr. Khan from Northwestern in Chicago. This is a direct quote from her, saying that it's important to develop multi-level strategies, so not just one thing, to support individuals in achieving healthy weight across the life course from birth. National policies such as sugar-sweetened beverage taxation are also important. So we've all heard of, there have been taxes on sugary drinks in various places, and it kind of gets people passionate. We kind of all have our ideas of whether we should support it or not. But the last two bullet points are especially important. Access to safe and green spaces for exercise and movement. So I put a picture of our campus rec center here to plug them, okay? But we also, if you are working here downtown at UAB, you know, we're getting, there's all these good walking trails as well. Some of you, before, when we were waiting to get started, I was asking some of you if you'd walked yet today. So it's getting, the lights still light out there if you're working during the day. So get out there. The weather's nice today. The weekend's not supposed to be as good, but really get outside and enjoy this beautiful weather we're having while it's warm enough. And then access to healthy foods to begin early in life. And I put a picture of a supermarket produce section. Hopefully that's something we've all seen, and we all should probably spend a little more time there as well too. So safe and green spaces for exercise and healthy foods to begin early in life. I listened to a webinar yesterday, and the researcher from Columbia University was saying that vacant lots without greenery are associated with higher rates of gun violence. It's actually research supported. So if we can all try to encourage more green spaces, whether it in our workplace or at home, that would be beneficial for us. And I think it kind of supports what this Dr. Khan said as well, too. So this is data from 2017, a few years old now, but it shows you fruit and vegetable intake. So I pulled out Alabama because I think we're great still. So daily intake of fruit, you can see in the green here. We have about 1 fruit a day and 1.5 vegetables a day. compared to the overall national average. So we're actually pretty close to the national average, okay? So that's a good thing. And then this is the percent of respondents meeting these recommendations. So pretty low on fruit and 2/3 of the national average for vegetables, okay? And you can see, like we always say, thank goodness for Mississippi, okay? They'll always buy for number one for the worst rates of whatever for us. So they're a little bit lower on fruits and veggies, okay? And I put these are the other states that we're all kind of vying for worst places: Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, West Virginia, as far as rates of fruits and vegetables. I also put Colorado. If you're in the healthcare field, you're probably aware Colorado always over probably 15 plus years of I've been in this field. Colorado is always the healthiest state. So they have the highest rates of exercising individuals, the lowest rates of weight problems, the lowest rates of diabetes. So you can kind of see, and this fruit and vegetable intake is an indicator of healthy diet, of course, too. So you can see Colorado is much higher than the national, well, not much, but a little bit higher than the national average for fruits and veggies as well, too. So fruits and vegetables, we all need to eat more of. This is just another graph. I don't want to overgraph you, but this is just another graph from the same study. Smoking, only about 20% of us are not smoking. BMI is the dark blue. You can kind of see, kind of follows the 25% have a healthy BMI. Blood pressure is the light blue. Black is the physical activity. Yellow is cholesterol, and then orange is diabetes. You can kind of see they kind of all group together as well too. So fruits and vegetables. So we all need to eat more fruits and vegetables. I've said that 1,000 times. And that is the one factor. I've been doing this for over 20 years now, personally and professionally. I tell friends, colleagues, patients, if you don't do anything else, eat more fruits and vegetables. And that is the answer to weight, cholesterol, blood pressure, okay? Reducing risk for heart disease, stroke, etc., cancers, okay? If we all ate more fruits and vegetables, we'd all be much, much healthier, okay? So a variety of fruits and vegetables is important, okay? Bananas and potatoes, these are just random pictures I found, but bananas and potatoes are white. They're not as healthy as some other things, but you know what? They're still a vegetable. I'd much rather you have a banana than chips, okay? So they're portable, they grow outside, many times they don't require refrigeration. So really, that is the answer for heart health, more fruits and veggies, okay? Whole grains is another thing. You've probably heard that too, unless you've been living in a cave somewhere. So this is another study that just came out a few weeks ago. And this is another direct quote. This was from the British Medical Journal. High intake of refined grains was associated with higher risk of mortality and major cardiovascular disease events. So heart disease and stroke. Globally, not just in the US, lower consumption of refined grains should be considered. So refined grains. So there's too many of y'all for me to ask, but refined grains is white bread, white pasta, white rice. It's also sugary cereals most of the time are refined grains, and many of our crackers are refined. So this is a way of finding out something as whole grain. So we have the whole grain picture on a lot of foods now. If you go to the grocery store, you'll see that too. The National US Dietary Guidelines recommend at least half your grains be whole grains. So when you're looking for whole grains, you want to read the ingredient list. The first ingredient should say whole grain. This is Barilla pasta. I just pulled a picture from theirs. I don't get any kickbacks from Barilla pasta. It's just a random picture, okay? Anything you buy that's a grain, ideally look for whole is the very first ingredient. If it says enriched or bleached, it's considered refined. So we all know brown rice. There's also wild rice. Whole grain pasta, usually bran, oat, or wheat type cereals, and then whole grain crackers. A lot of crackers will trick you, okay? The Ritz type crackers that are whole grain, those tricked me a couple of years ago. I haven't read them lately, but let me know if they've changed it, because it used to say the whole wheat Ritz that aren't as good as the regular ones. I'll just tell you, it used to say refined grain, and it was like, okay, I'm just going to get the regular ones if I want to splurge. Okay, so Triscuit or wheat thin type crackers are usually whole grain. I'm sure there's other ones out there. If you know of any that are, maybe send it in the chat too. I learn more from my patients sometimes as well. Popcorn. Popcorn is actually a whole grain. So popcorn is always better for you than chips as well too. Just try to get it, the heart healthy stuff. There's quinoa and amaranth and bulgur and all kinds of other whole grains out there. So at least half your grains, whole grains. Okay. This is a seafood thing. So there was a, I heard this acronym, SMASH-T. I can't take credit for that, from a colleague, Christina. She's on a diabetes group discussion board I'm on for Alabama. But she lives in Nebraska, I believe, but I have to give her credit for this. But sardines. So this came about a few weeks ago. I told my colleagues, there's only 3 or 4 of us in our office. I said, does anybody eat sardines? And one of my coworkers, I've been here almost 4 years, said, yeah, she eats sardines too. And that never came up. And I share that story with a lot of us because I've started asking my patients here in Alabama, do you eat sardines? And most of them are kind of like, what? And they'll say yes, okay? If you ask me if I ate salmon and told me to eat salmon, I don't like salmon. So you're going to turn me off completely. But I'll eat sardines or halibut. And then when I went out down the hall to the nurses station, all 3 of the nurses I work with on a daily basis like sardines and halibut. So we all haven't brought sardines for lunch any days yet. I should warn everybody if we do. But remember, SMASH-T is the acronym. So salmon, mackerel, anchovies, sardines, halibut, and trout. These are your fattier fish that are even better for your heart. These are the ones that are higher in omega-3. Okay, so really take advantage. Sardines are also cheap. Okay, I can buy more shoes if I spend my money on sardines and less on salmon too, which is something I always like. Okay, so this is another thing on fats. So healthier fats. So remember, we're going to try to concentrate on what you can have. So unsaturated. So mono unsaturated or poly unsaturated. So they're classified based on their chemical structure. So the good ones are the mono and the polys, okay? So this is olive oil, avocado oil, canola oil, grapeseed oil, okay? Avocado is the good for you fat. Nuts and seeds and nut butters. Again, that peanut butter, almond butter, cashew butter, and chia and flax. Okay, I started using chia seeds and things too. It's kind of they're easy to add to things too. I'm actually giving them to my dog. She's got some arthritis. She's a German Shepherd, so I'm starting to give those to her too. I've read that it helps her. So of course, always ask your vet. I'm not a dietitian for animals. Always ask your vet. But these are the heart healthy fats. These are part of kind of a big component of what we call the Mediterranean diet or way of eating. We're going to talk about in a minute. The saturated fats are the ones we're supposed to limit. And that is the coconut and tropical oils, fatty meats, okay, like sausage and barbecue pork and things like that, butter and lard, and then heavy whipping cream. This is kind of a controversial thing if you're in the nutrition field. Some of us, Over the past 10 to 15 years or so, there's some data now showing that the saturated fat, probably from dairy, probably is not as bad for us. So that's the cheese and the full fat milk. However, if you start eating cheese and ice cream every day because I said it was good for you and you gain 10 pounds, that is not good for you unless you need to gain weight. Okay. And again, what's the thing that's always going to be the best for you? Nobody's going to speak fruits and vegetables. Okay. And then hydrogenated and trans fats. So about a year and a half ago, the FDA or Food and Drug Administration and U.S. government banned trans fats. So food products can no longer include these in your foods. So if you find a nutrition label for a food that has trans fats in it, hopefully it's been in your pantry for a long time and not there anymore. There are naturally trans fats in some beef and some other products I don't remember right now, but the ones that were added to foods are the ones we're supposed to avoid completely. There's no safe level of trans fats. Saturated is the one we're supposed to limit. Okay, and then more of these heart healthy fats as well too. So sugar sweetened beverages. In the nutrition world, we abbreviate SSB. So if you ever see that in our documentation, that's what it means. These are strongly associated with weight gain. Okay, this is sweet tea. Okay, sweet tea here in the South. Okay, Cokes. I'm one of those. I'm from Alabama, but I'm one of those that Coke is everything with carbonation. Okay, so sugary drinks strongly associated with weight gain. They're not satiety inducing. So that means satiety is another term in the nutrition world, meaning they don't fill you up. So if you say, oh, I'm going to skip lunch and drink a Coke for the calories because I can't get to work, too busy to have lunch, your body is not going to be satisfied. Around 2 or 3 o'clock, you're going to still be hungry. Ideally, avoid or limit these and choose water or some kind of sugar-free product. Okay, so tea is fine, just don't add the sugar to it. Get the unsweetened or use the sugar substitute. So how many vegetables should we eat? So remember that graph where I showed us compared to other states? Ideally 2.5 to 3 cups of vegetables per day in a variety, ideally. This is the graph that took the place of the food pyramid. If you still think we're doing the food pyramid, it's been gone for 15 years. Okay, so choose my plate. If you look at the plate, over half of what we eat should be fruits and vegetables. So it's a plate. So think of that, your plate next time you eat, or your bowl, or whatever you're eating out of. Okay, at home or at friends' houses that have also been vaccinated and socially distancing, or in restaurants when you pick up takeout and bring it home because it's still not questionable. Half your plate should be fruits and vegetables. Okay, every time you eat. This is the guideline for age 2 and above. Okay, so healthy things mostly, and then whole grains and protein and dairy. You can see fats isn't included there this time. So fats, the ideas would be included in all that. So if you put olive oil on your vegetables, or you cook tofu with butter, or if you add oil to your rice, that would be, the fats would be included. Okay, or if you have some nuts on your fruit, okay, have a fruit salad with some nuts. Again, another picture of that produce market. I hope to see many of you in this section, or at the farmer's market, or growing your own produce too. If you're working at home, I hope you're considering doing a garden as well too. So this is a study, another study that came out just a few weeks ago. Was in the Lancet, which is another British medical journal. But it was a large epidemiological study on over 300,000 people in the UK. And they followed these individuals for 20 years. And what they found was that the rates of cardiovascular disease causes of death fell by over 1/3, which is fantastic. That's great. over almost 20 years. However, the rates of cancer grew. Okay, so I heard something like this for the US about 10 years ago, and the researcher, kind of their editorial was saying that we're probably doing really good with blood pressure and cholesterol and blood sugar control because of a lot of medications, which is also fantastic. However, a lot of cancers are catching up because there's no pill, unfortunately, to decrease your risk of many of these cancers. So colorectal, Riley was just telling me that's a big part of the wellness group. So be on the lookout for the things they're going to be doing to help decrease our rates of that. Pancreatic cancer, liver cancer, gallbladder cancer, breast, and then uterine cancers were the ones that were associated with the higher rates. Again, because of the researchers felt because it was due to being overweight or obese. So again, in the UK, the rates of overweight are, I want to say in the 60 something percent. I did look it up. I don't remember what it is now. So diabetes. So diabetes is my thing. That's what we do primarily. We do this plus nutrition education as well. So 2019, BRFIS. Remember, BRFIS is self-report. So for 2019, rates of diabetes in the US, Alabama fell to 4th place behind Mississippi. Okay. Puerto Rico had the highest rates, again, probably because of the Hispanic or Latinx population. However, there's some good news in this. Drum roll, please. In 2017, Alabama's rate was 14.6%. We have improved. Y'all, I lived in Florida for about 30 years. And in 2017, I moved here to Alabama to work here at UAB. And I told my friends I was going to make Alabama healthier. And gosh darn it, I have done it. No, I'm kidding. I cannot take credit for that. But it's a 0.6%. It is an improvement. We're trending in the right direction. So for DSMES, stands for Diabetes Self-Management, Education, and Support. So that is we have a American Diabetes Association certified program here at UAB. And nationally, there's DSMES programs everywhere. So our program, in fact, I'm working on the 5-year certification right now. So people that have diabetes that attend diabetes education programs such as ours have improvements in glucose and A1C, which is an indicator of glucose control. They're less likely to have negative outcomes as a result of diabetes. So diabetes is a big risk for heart disease and stroke, blindness, amputations, kidney failure. They're more likely to have those preventive care things like the colonoscopies. They're less likely to be hospitalized, and they have better patient satisfaction, okay? So this is kind of the recommendations of when you're supposed to refer for somebody with diabetes for diabetes education. So if you know somebody in another state with diabetes, please recommend they attend some kind of diabetes education. And we're doing it virtually now, of course. Of course, at diagnosis, annually or when they're not meeting treatment targets. And again, that's probably all of us. Okay, if I had diabetes, I probably wouldn't be meeting my treatment targets right now either. When complicating factors develop, okay, and then when transitions in life and care occur. So transitions in life, in the past year, we've all had a transition in life due to COVID. And then the circle here in the middle are the things we talk about here in diabetes education. So healthy coping is kind of the central factor. And I think COVID has also shown us that healthy coping is really important for all the rest of this. Taking medicine, healthy eating, being active. I tell everybody in our diabetes class, we all need to be healthy and eat healthy and be more active, whether you have diabetes or not. Monitoring blood sugar as well as feet, problem solving, and then reducing risks too. So those are factors, especially for somebody with diabetes. So please, if you know somebody with diabetes, encourage them to get some education. So we haven't talked about salt yet, but most of us get too much salt. So if you never use a salt shaker, they say you still probably get too much. So hopefully you're not one of those using the Himalayan salt. I saw some of that at TJ Maxx. It's very pretty. Okay, I didn't buy it, but maybe I should buy it and just put it on my table because I like it. I like pink. Try to avoid kosher salt and then sea salt. There is a myth out there that those are a little bit lower in sodium, and they are, but it's not enough to make a difference. Try to avoid salt altogether. Use herbs and spices and fresh things. Have more fresh fruits and veggies that don't require as much seasoning anyway. Limit high sodium foods. Again, a lot of those foods that we tend to eat more of here in Alabama, chips and fried things. Limit eating out, which I think we've all probably done as a result of COVID. And then the DASH eating plan too. DASH is an eating plan, stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. It has consistently been rated one of the top diets by the US News ratings of diets every year, like they do for universities. So it's been shown to be the best diet. This year, it's number 2 after Mediterranean, but it's a way of eating that's been shown to lower blood pressure. It's very high in those minerals that help offset sodium. So potassium, fruits and veggies, magnesium, whole grains, nuts and seeds, and then calcium, of course, from dairy. So again, another benefit of eating fruits and vegetables. And again, the Mediterranean eating plan is very high in fruits and vegetables. A lot of the people that live in the Mediterranean have much lower rates of heart disease. Their eating plan is very, very high in fruits and vegetables. They eat a lot of legumes, beans, peas. They do use olive oil, avocado, nuts and seeds, and of course, wine. They have limited sweets. They use fruit for dessert, nature's dessert. And then limited eggs, poultry, and seafood. They still eat seafood, but not as much as we do. Okay, so seafood and poultry and the eggs, maybe just a few times a week. And then they avoid red meats, beef and pork, maybe once a month or less, typically. Okay, so if that's something you're interested in, look it up. And you know, plenty of fruits and vegetables and other things showing benefit. We're almost done here, but we're going to talk about physical activity. So again, just showing you, we're doing a little better here. In 2019, physical activity, 150 minutes or more of aerobic activity per week is recommended. A little less than 50% of us here in Alabama were meeting that. So that's great. But again, that's the BRFIS data, that's self-report. Okay, somebody called you on the phone. So hopefully people are saying, yeah, they're getting that. So we're doing pretty good there. So this is simple ways to be more active. I always tell my patients, well, I used to tell my patients when they had to come down here, and now most of us are remote, but let's come into UAB and parking in the parking garage and finding our office, you got some activity, okay? But at home, walk your dog, play fetch, work in the garden, clean the house, okay? Lift weights, march in place while watching TV. If you're coming to the office and working, or even if you're working at home, take a break and walk around the block. Exercising your chair. There's all kinds of chair exercises. Take the stairs. Stand while you're on the phone, reading or eating, and talk face-to-face with your coworkers. Some of these guidelines came out, or this picture came out pre-COVID. So again, just face-to-face, but 6-foot distance. When you're out, go dancing, you know, just with your own partner, 6 foot away. Do some Tai Chi, take a walk after dinner, you know, eat dinner a little earlier, or go for a walk afterwards, park away from the door, wear a pedometer. Okay. And again, if you're wearing a pedometer or a step counter, you can get points for wellness as well too. And so these are some things you can start doing now. So look at this list. If you have any more to share, please share in the chat box too. Some things you can do: walk to the farthest bathroom. Okay. If you need to use the restroom after this talk, I want you to go to the one across the room, across the building, across the house. Okay. Stand up for every time the phone rings. Look up a new recipe for a new vegetable. Tomorrow, look up some chair exercises. And don't drive to the mailbox, walk to it. This weekend, go for a hike. Saturday, it's not supposed to rain all day long, I don't think, so go for a hike. Ask someone, coworker, online, etc., what's a vegetable they eat, okay? Next week, instead of chips, get some nuts. 2 weeks from now, go to a park, walk around the block. Instead of doing a pizza party, maybe do a veggie potluck, of course, when it's safe to get together again. Next month, take a fitness break when watching a commercial, okay? I got Hulu, but I didn't get the kind with no commercials, so I'm trying to get up and do things during a commercial. Instead of an ice cream party, have a Subway or a sub sandwich party. And instead of cookies at the holidays and birthday cake, have a fruit basket, okay? Or have somebody bring in whatever your favorite fruit is for you, okay? So there is my name and number. You're welcome to call or email anytime. If you or someone you know has diabetes, please attend education for it. A lot of things change over the years.